Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Welcome to Sofia University's Master of Arts in Transpersonal Psychology information session. Let me see how many. We might just want to wait 1 minute to see if anybody else attends the session. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to give it about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay, looks like we can get started. Thank you again for joining us tonight. My name is Elizabeth Gill. I'm an admissions counselor at Sofia. I am joined here today with my colleagues and the chair of the MATP program, who I will introduce in just a moment. We will start our information session with the introduction of our chair, who will then give their PowerPoint presentation. We can answer any questions at the end of the PowerPoint, but please feel free to ask any questions in the chat during the presentation. So now let's begin our introduction. I am pleased to introduce our program chair, Dr. Robert Wood. Dr. Wood oversees our bachelor completion as well as the MA and PhD programs in transpersonal psychology. He has earned several degrees, including an MA in transpersonal psychology from Naropa University and a PhD in psychology with a concentration in transpersonal psychology from ITP, now known as Sofia University. Dr. Wood resides in Utah and has previously taught finance at both the University of Utah and the University of Oregon. After a life-changing event, he pursued a spiritual path that led him to study shamanism and transpersonal psychology. I'll now turn it over to Robert.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you all for those of you who are here. We're happy to have you. Let's just jump right into it. What we're going to be talking about today is the master's program in transpersonal psychology at Sofia University. And the basis of the program is transpersonal education. And I'm not going to go through and read all of these slides to you, but this one is worth reading because it says that education is meant to open many doors leading to many rooms. Imagination thrives when sensual experience joins with reason, when illusion links to reality, when intuition couples with intelligence, when the passions of the heart unite with those of the mind, when knowledge gained in one discipline opens doors to all the rest. The point of education must be to create whole people who, through their wholeness, can focus on the accumulation of wisdom of human experience into illuminated patches of splendor. So I think that's well said. I think it's the basis of what we try to do, particularly in the master's program. We want the program to be an experience, not just a transformational experience. And we think we teach transformation by having you experience transformation. So a lot of the program is very experiential. Some of the characteristics of the program are listed here. It's collaborative, dynamic, it's creative, transformative, embodied, and connected to earth, psycho-spiritual transformation. You can read some of those things, but we give you an overview, as you'll see here in a minute. We give you an overview and kind of the core courses, and then let you decide where you want to concentrate your education. And as Elizabeth said, please, any of you, feel free to type a question as we're going along into the chat if you'd like, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. So, like I was saying, we think that transpersonal education is transformative, and try to teach through a journey of experiences. So in your courses, you'll have reading to do and homework to do, questions to answer, that kind of thing. But you'll also have a lot of experiential things. Like, for example, I'm teaching an eco-psychology course this term, and each week we have the students go out and do a walk in nature, kind of focusing on different things as they walk, but then to reflect on what that experience was like. It's like we're trying to learn by experiencing, not just by reading. We've got an awesome faculty. We just had a faculty meeting today, and I just choke up as I thank them every time for how amazing they are. And one thing I told them today, which I believe with all my heart, is that our students feel loved. It's not just that we're teaching and passing on information, which I hope we do and we try to do well, but we end up really caring about the students, and through this transformational process, we end up sharing a lot of their lives with them. So we know what that's what kind of what they're going through. You will be assigned one of these faculty members that I was just showing you on. I'll go back here. Uh, this is our faculty, but one of these faculty members will be assigned to you as your advisor when you first enter the program. And they will advise you until you select what your specialty is. And then you may go on to another advisor who kind of specializes in that particular specialty. So your instructors help with the course. They support your transformation educational process. They respond to weekly assignments, and they're always there for you to answer any questions that you may have about the course. Your advisor, on the other hand, helps you with make sure you're fulfilling your academic requirements, can help you understand which courses you ought to take next. And your advisors meet with you basically quarterly as you're ready to sign up for the next group of classes. And your advisor is always ready and always available through email to answer any questions that you may have about the program. So as I mentioned earlier before, what are the foundational courses? There's basically 6 foundational courses and 2 seminars that are. It's advisable to take these courses as early in your career as you can. You can take some electives interspersed with these, but our advice to you will always be to try to get through these foundational courses. We have an opening seminar. We have 2 seminars a year, one in the fall that we just completed last week, or week before last. That seminar is usually in person and usually at our Costa Mesa campus. And it's great for we as teachers to be able to meet 3D students, to give you a hug and to welcome you to the program. It's also great for you all to meet your instructors, but also to meet each other. And so I just got through reading the reflection papers of the 30 plus students we had. And they all said that this has been the highlight of our education to be able to come to this opening seminar. So that's something you'll want to plan on. We have an APA writing style course. In the master's program, we don't make a great big deal of APA writing style, but it's good for you to know, particularly if you're going to go on to do a PhD. So we have this course to introduce that that style to you. Then we get into the heart of what we're trying to teach, embodied spirituality, uh, and that's a course about how there's many ways of knowing things, and learning something with your mind is one way, but your body also has lots of knowledge, and there's a way for you to tap in to that knowledge. There's Intro to Transpersonal Studies. It's more of an academic course that kind of tells you the history of how transpersonal psychology was started. You know, Abraham Maslow, who I'm sure many of you have heard of, is one of the founders of transpersonal psychology, also one of the founders of Sofia University. The theories of personality and is pretty self-explanatory. Creative expression and transformation. Creativity is another way of knowing, and we try to let people get in touch with that creative, intuitive part of themselves. And then spiritual development across the lifespan. And then another seminar. The second seminar we have during the year is, and it'll take you about 2 years to complete this whole program if you took 2 courses per term. And so you could do seminars in the fall both times and have them be in-person seminars. You can also, we have in the spring a virtual seminar, and people are often surprised at how meaningful that virtual seminar can be. So in your first year of your studies in the master's program, you'll take these courses that I just talked about, and you'll have, if you take 2 courses per term, and the APA writing style is just a 1 credit course, so that you can take that, you know, easy with any other courses that you're taking. But if you take 2 courses per term, then you ought to be able to do these courses in your first year. And then we move on to your what you, at that point, after you've taken those courses, you decide what you're going to concentrate in. And you know, we'll help you, and your advisor will help you decide what is the concentration you ought to choose. And I'll talk to you a minute about what the choices are. You know, here are some examples of some graduates that we have from the MATP program. Jennifer co-founded a nonprofit organization that helps Asian American women in her community. Jennifer also now teaches for us. She teaches in our master's program in China. Juan Carlos, he guides university students to find their academic voices. Juan Carlos also teaches for us. He's one of the people who was pictured on that faculty slide that I just showed you a minute ago. Laura B. creates opportunities for contemplative mind education for children. Wendy P. advocates for Indigenous Way. And she's a native of Hawaii and does a lot of work there. So you can see that kind of some of the applications that people have done, you know, or are involved with having completed this program. So here's what you have. Here are your choices. You basically have these 3 choices: the creativity and innovation, spiritual psychology, and leadership, and transformative life coaching. Those are the 3 concentrations, we call them, or specializations that you have to choose from. Now, you can do 2 of those. And we've had one person I'm aware of who did all 3, but it takes more time. You can't do them, if you do a dual specialization, it's going to take you an extra quarter or 2, depending on which 2 you pick. There's also sub-concentrations that are available, and you can complete a sub-concentration in transpersonal eco-psychology, for example, or dream studies, if you carefully select the electives that you take along the way. So you can do all of the requirements for, creativity and innovation, for example, and creativity and innovation says you have to have 3 electives. If you carefully choose those electives, then you possibly could qualify for a sub-concentration in transpersonal eco-psychology or a dream studies sub-concentration. We have certificate programs in transpersonal eco-psychology where people can sign up and take only the eco-psychology courses, and then they get a certificate in eco-psychology. They don't get a master's degree, but they get a certificate in that. So when you study in those classes, you may be studying with some people who are just focusing on that particular sub-concentration, certificate for them, sub-concentration for the MATP students. So I'll quickly go through kind of the courses you'd have to take for each of these concentrations. If you chose creativity and innovation, then after your transitional seminar, again, 2 seminars total for the course, you take empowering community through creative arts, inquiry into creativity and innovation, ways of knowing, and then you have 2 professional practicum courses. One is a 1-hour course, one's a 2-hour course. The 1-hour course, you get ready to do your professional practicum. The 2-hour course, you actually do it. And that's where you go out in the community and actually practice some of what you've learned in your other courses. And then, as I mentioned, you have the electives, which you could choose carefully to get a sub-concentration. And then the capstone for all of the MATP is what we call a transpersonal integration paper, or TIP. And it's like your master's thesis. It's a 20 to 30 page paper that is researched and has citations, 10 or more sources. But in the course of doing all of your other work, particularly the inquiry into creativity and innovation, you'll have a lot of the material you need, and you just pull it all together to do this final integration paper. And it is meant to be able to pull all of your learning together. Now, in spiritual psychology, you take contemplative practices in heart, mind, and community, inquiry into embodied spirituality, ways of knowing. Again, the practicums 1 and 2, 3 electives, and then the capstone course of the transpersonal integration. So those 2 programs are very similar in their requirements. The courses are just a little different. Now, the life coaching is a little more structured, and that's because our life coaching program is recognized by the International Coaching Federation, the ICF. And once you complete our program, you are eligible to receive a certification from ICF as a life coach. So we have a little more intense coursework that's involved. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. To complete this particular concentration. So there's introduction to the coaching process, inquiry into embodied spirituality or creativity and innovation. Practicums 1 and 2, now these are coaching practicums 1 and 2, so they're more structured. It's not like you pick what you're going to do, that it's kind of outlined for you what you have to do in the practicum. And then there's an advanced practicum in coaching, and then also on entrepreneurial spirit. And that's a course that kind of helps you. Now we've taught you to be a coach. How do you go out and, hang a shingle, an ICF shingle on your door and start attracting people who need coaching? We give you a little bit of training in entrepreneurial spirit, the becoming a business person for yourself. There's only one elective in the life coaching because there are more courses over here. So it's more difficult if you choose life coaching to have one of the other sub concentrations. It would take more time to complete the sub concentration. And of course, with all of them, we have transpersonal integration paper, or in coaching, we allow for a social action project where we can say, this is what I'm going to do with my life coaching, and here's a social action plan that I'm going to implement to use my life coaching. Here's some ideas of the elective choices that you have. I could put them all on here because the list is long, but most of these courses are repeated at least once during during the term of your 2 years, and your advisors have my plan as to when we're going to offer these courses, so they can help you, decide. If you say, look, I really want to do the eco psychology, well, then you're going to have to take, eco spirituality, eco psychology, nature-based programs, and they can help you figure out what quarter would be the best time to take all of those. But, just looking down that list, you can tell there's some pretty interesting stuff that we study. Archetype symbols and myths is one course that I teach, that I love to teach, and that I think is really interesting. I also teach the eco psychology course. Uh, uh, and those are obviously the most interesting ones, but the other ones are interesting also. I'm just teasing. I just think those are the most interesting ones. So if you want to get those sub-concentrations, a sub-concentration in transpersonal eco-psychology, as I was just mentioning, these are the 4 courses that you would have to take. You have to take 3 to get your degree. You'd have to take one more course, one more elective course to have this sub-concentration. If you were careful enough in your planning to use your other 3 electives in wisely to take the other requirements. In the dream studies, here are the 4 courses that you would be required to have that sub-concentration in dream studies. This is getting pretty technical, and it'll mean more to you once you're in the program. I've got a little clip here. It's about 5 minutes long of one of our graduates. Do we have time for that, Elizabeth, or should I?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I have no idea how the sound is going to work on this. So if it doesn't work, we'll just skip it. But can you hear it?
and dive into healing work. So at that point in time, I had a sense that music and healing could go together. So I kind of took the different things that I learned and created my own program. And so the joy of group singing, I teach the basics of unison and harmony singing. I teach the body as an instrument, movement and freeing the voice, singing as a meditative practice, and improvisation, which I think of as the art of letting go. I decided that I wanted to have a credential or a degree that was more in alignment with that work. So the music degrees are great, but I felt like it was right to kind of pursue another degree. So I decided to participate in Sofia University's global master's program. And so they had an online program and also a specialization in creativity and innovation. And I decided that that was the right fit for me. I could still live in Ithaca, New York. I could still work at Light on the Hill Retreat Center and maintain my client base and my classes and earn this degree. So once or twice a year, I fly out to California to Sofia University, which is formerly the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology. And we do 6-day seminars at a beautiful retreat center there. And then I'm able to come back here and apply what I'm learning there to my work in my everyday life. So now just let it get into your body. We're going to breathe into the pit of the stomach, breathe into your souls, and just let those voices open. Nice breath from the beginning.
My mom always talks about how soulful she is and how rooted and grounded she is. She's like African, I swear. You know, like I'm
So I remember I was walking into a recording studio a couple of years ago, and Lisa was walking out, and I was going in with them, and we're scattered, and Lisa was just like, "Hi." Like, oh, I don't want to be making music with someone of that. So,
Overall, I would say as a result of going through that program, I've discovered a real passion for workshop facilitation. So in my first year of the program, as part of a transpersonal theories course, I actually developed a brand new workshop to take into schools. So I went into a high school and I offered a program called Uncover Your Dreams, Discover Your Voice. And we worked with youth, with teenagers to help them realize what some of their buried dreams might be. Uncover Your Dreams, Discover Your Voice is something that I mold for different settings. So I offered it in high school, and then I tailored it and offered it as a weekend workshop for adults. So that's an ongoing offering. And then I'm still doing the joy of group singing. And then I just started Freeing Your Voice drop-in class that the Honey Child Soul Quintet is assisting me with. And that has been a pure joy. We're just filling the room and getting some great uplifting energy. I would say overall that I am living my dream. I feel so grateful for all the supportive people in my life who've helped me to have the courage to live into it.
I think you get the impression or the gist of that. I still get at least one email a month from Elisa where she's doing a new group sing-along thing that she does, and I'm really proud of her. She's one of our star students. So we really hope that you're interested. You know, if I'll turn it back to you, Elizabeth, to kind of for next steps. Somewhere along the way, I will have the chance to interview you or welcome you to our program if you decide to join us. So with that, I'll just turn it back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Robert, so much. Yeah, if anyone has any questions about the admissions process, feel free to always email admissions@sophia.edu. I did attach the admissions checklist into the chat if you want to take a look at that. And it's a very handheld process, from start to finish, and Robert or one of the other faculty member will interview you at the end. If you have any questions about the program or the admissions process, please feel free to speak or, write in the chat, and, we can do a little question and answer session right now. I think I see some questions coming in.
Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask your question if you'd like.
Yeah, you're welcome to. I believe it's you're able to do that. Unmic yourself.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. This is Kim. Thank you so much for this. And I understand Sophia used to be California Institute of Integral Studies. Is that right?
No, it used to be the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, CIS is a bit different.
Okay, and I think you might have already answered this question for me, but do you take into consideration for transferring into Sophia any type of life experience or anything like that that can be used as credits towards? I actually have to finish my bachelor's degree and then my master's, and I was wondering if there was any consideration for that.
Yeah, not so much for life experience, but certainly we can transfer credits, from another institution. I think we're allowed to transfer up to 9 credits, that we have to try to kind of match them up with what's it going to replace. But yeah.
Got it. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
But yeah, if you're interested in finishing your bachelor's, we do have a bachelor completion program.
Okay.
If you have at least an associate's degree, at least 75 quarter units, that might be the program to start. And then you can move into the MATP program after that. There are some discounts that are beneficial for alumni as well.
Okay.
So that could be an option if you wanted to go that route.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Your Costa Mesa campus is right near me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And that's where the seminars are held, all the in-person.
Nice.
So we do have a question. How many times we need to travel to campus and what the duration of each trip is? Do you want to speak to that, Robert?
Sure. I was trying to type out a response there, but it's easier to say. So, yeah, Cam, you'd be required to come one time to campus to one in-person seminar. You're required to attend 2 seminars, as I mentioned, but the second one could be virtual. And the travel, the one that you travel, it's usually 5 days. So they start on Monday and end on about noon on Friday. So 4.5 days or so. We can, under tough circumstances, we'll make an exception to that. But I don't even like to talk about it because it's so beneficial for you to be able to come to at least one of the seminars.
Yeah, those usually take place the beginning of October. So every fall there's an in-person seminar. So 5 days, and that's in Costa Mesa, California. Yeah, no problem. We have another question coming in. If you're all interested, we are, the next intake is for our winter quarter. So winter starts January 13th. We are accepting applicants at this time. We are closing applications for that point, January or December 16th. So yeah, if you're interested for that. Does anyone have any other questions about the admissions process or, program questions for the chair as well? Yeah, and our great marketing team, they just linked some social media links. So please follow us. There's great information that's posted daily.
So we must have done well, Elizabeth, describing it.
Yeah, I think I see another question coming in, so I'm just waiting.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, if there's no other questions at this time, we can wrap it up.
Well, there is a
Um,
question about
Oh, here.
requirements for international students.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So it is a mostly online program, so it is available to students globally. If you're in the US and you're on an F1 visa, unfortunately, it's not eligible to F1 visa students because of the modality of the program. But as a global student, you're more than welcome. If your degree is outside, if your previous degree was done outside the US, we would need a transcript evaluation. If your first language is not English, we would need an English score as well. So those are just the additional documents, and then the rest, statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, kind of, the other requirements. And then again, it would wrap up with a faculty interview.
Yeah, unless you are in China or Korea, and we do offer the same program in Chinese in China
Mhm.
and in Korean in Korea.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we have our global programs offered in different languages. I'll give it another minute. Would this master's degree provide what is needed to become a counselor? That's a great question. Robert, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, it would not. There is a master's program that we offered called a Master's in Counseling Psychology, and it's you spend less time kind of studying the theory and actually more time practicing counseling. Now, as I mentioned, we do have the coaching program, and you if you chose that as your concentration, then you would be able to hang out a shingle and do coaching. But counseling is a different set of requirements, has so many hours of supervised counseling that have to be done and so forth. And we do offer that at Sofia. It's just not this program.
Yeah, I always tell, my MATP applicants, this is a non-clinical program. If you are looking for a clinical program, we do have the MA in Counseling Psychology. It's a 3-year program. It does prepare you for licensure. This is a little bit more research oriented. A lot of our PhD students, were first MATP students, so it is more research focused. May I know the schedule of study? Would you like to? It is an asynchronous program. Yeah, if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, it's asynchronous. We have 4 10-week terms in a year. And the fall term starts in around October 1st and goes till just before Christmas. And you can attend the class at any time during the week. There's typically weekly assignments. You post your response, you submit your papers, you talk with other students, all asynchronously. Some courses will offer the ability for everybody to come together like on a Zoom call, but it's not required. Does that answer your question, Alice?
Yeah, and what's great about the asynchronous model is we're able to enroll students globally. You don't need to be online at a specific time of the day. Yeah, there's weekly modules, like Robert said, that you need to attend to.
And most of the courses, just on that same subject, I think throughout the school require that the students show up at least once a week, in the course. So you can't wait till the 8th week and do all 10 weeks of work. You have to show up at least once a week.
Yeah, there is attendance still taken, right?
Any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions? And yeah, for anybody that did attend this session, we are offering a fee waiver for your application. I do have a list of who has attended, but please let me know as well, just to remind me. But if there's no other questions, I guess we can wrap it up.
Well, it was nice to meet you virtually. I hope to meet you in an interview sometime and in a course, if you so choose. We'd love to have you.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you all for attending tonight's info session. Again, please reach out to admissions@sophia.edu for any assistance you may need. Again, our next intake is for the winter quarter and application deadline is December 16th. So those classes start on January 13th. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you found it informative and enjoyed the opportunity to meet our staff and faculty. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you,
Elizabeth. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.